A Complete Guide to Construction Risk Management Part 2. Determine your response strategy. When it comes to your risk response strategy as a contractor, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to finding a solution. Rather, it's about considering the unique circumstances surrounding each of your construction sites and determining the appropriate risk response strategy. Typically, a risk response strategy can be divided into 4 possible courses of actions. Accept the risk. For you to be able to handle a risk properly, you've got to learn to accept it. In doing so, you can come up with all the strategies that you need to complete every single project, should the risk do come up. For example, the long-term weather forecast tells you that it's going to be a rainy spring. Therefore, this may entail expected delays brought about by the weather condition. You have to accept this risk for you to create solutions centered around still better managing the project. You can work your way around it and minimize the potential delays moving forward. Avoid the risk. If you feel that your construction project will crumble if the risk arises and you are unable to handle it, then you should strive to have strategies to avoid these risks from happening. For instance, if your current project location is sitting on an identified fault line, you can move the project's expected completion date to find a better location where the risk of severe damage or falling due to an earthquake is much lesser. Mitigate the risk. The process of minimizing the risk means creating plans to keep the chances of it affecting the workplace as low as possible. For instance, you know that the risk of falling debris and slips is always present. Rather than stop your employees from working, you can mitigate this risk by supplying the proper equipment and beefing your workers up with better training. Transfer the risk. One can transfer the costs of the risk itself to another party, usually an insurance provider. While this means paying for premiums, it can be a worth it exchange, as when accidents do happen, it's the insurance company that'll answer for the payables. With this guide, now you can have a better assessment of how prepared your construction site is in the event of a disaster. While every construction project inherently has its own set of hazards, one can take control of them and turn the tide to their favor. The above-mentioned tips can be your proactive approach towards having a better construction risk management system in place. For more information, call 469-370-7501 or visit interstateheavyequipment.com.